everybody. You might be wondering right now, who is this and why is he talking and why is he introing this thing? That's not one of the DMs that I normally recognize. My name is Mike Farty. You might recognize me as Soaring Leaf on the Wind in the Scales Above, but tonight I have taken the seat of the Dungeon Master, and we are going to be running a two-part session called The Drifting City, or FOMO. But before we get into all that, there's a few people that I want to shout out. Number one, I want to shout out Sirenscape. Hey. We love Sirenscape. Sirenscape is going to be providing all of the music and maybe sound effects like this yay throughout the night, which I have scoured and put onto these playlists. It's a wonderful program if you're looking to up your role-playing experience with music and sound effects, especially over distance now. It's a really great thing. You should go check it out. Second off, for also augmenting your TTRPG experience, I'm going to shout out Hero Forge. Have you ever wondered what you would look like as a tiny plastic or metal, maybe, orc? You can do that on Hero Forge. Look at these minis. They're beautiful. You can put all sorts of things in their hands. There's an elephant. Is that Hero Forge? That's not Hero Forge.
I don't know. It's a Loxodon.
Get that out of here. Get that subpar mini out of here. It's too big. I don't like it. The other ones are absolutely gorgeous. There's all sorts of things you can put in their hand. There's all sorts of awesome costumes. There's colors that you can do the whole thing on, getting it printed in color. Or if you love to do all the painting yourself, you can just print them off regularly, and they'll send them to you, and you get to have full control over that. It's a lot of fun. It's very intuitive, and it's like a game in itself. So go check out Hero Forge as well. There are links here. And thank you very much, Hero Forge, for sponsoring us. Also, I would like to, we don't have any of Brepai's art here now for this stream, but if you look behind me, you can see some of her art, which she did for the Wonders and Blunders podcast, which is absolutely gorgeous, and I physically gasp every time I look at it, which I do every time she posts a new piece of art. It's absolutely incredible. Her portfolio is below. Check that out as well. Is that, that's a spiel, so. Right? That's an opening spiel?
I guess that, yeah.
You did great.
Yeah. Great, thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. So let's go around and meet our players for tonight. So I'm gonna start in this Zoom call. Let's start with you, Josh.
G'day guys, I'm Josh the Pirate, and tonight I'm going to be playing Erwin. It's tonight for most of you, it's bloody morning for me. But yeah, I'm going to be Erwin, your friendly, he's just a crocodile wrangler. He's a sort of a lizard folk, and he wrangles animals, and he's a pretty curious guy. He enjoys hanging out in the swamp and just chilling. He's a really cool, smooth, easygoing bloke. You just don't go too close. Don't poke him with a stick. He might snap.
Great. Next up, we got Shannon.
Hi everybody, I'm Shannon. It's so nice to be back with you all on this lovely Friday evening / Saturday morning. I am from Paradise RPG, along with this goober who's right underneath me, and I am our community manager as well as our resident used to be rogue, now I'm a monk. Things happened, but tonight I am playing our party bard. Her name is Ruby Red, and she is over the top, so dramatic. She was the lead in every single school play, and she needs things done the right way. Otherwise, everything's the worst. So that's why I'm playing. Oh, she's a tap dancer too, just like me. And that's it.
Amazing. Agent?
That's me. My name is AgentNumberOne. I'm a Twitch streamer and D&D player and streamer. You can find me over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AgentNumberOne. You can also find me over on the Wonders and Blunders podcast, where I play a giant lizard folk barbarian. Not a giant, but just a very, very large, very big lizard folk. Super fun. Barbarians are the best. I don't know if anybody is aware of this. If you've never played a barbarian, like, free your soul and just play one.
Seriously.
And tonight I am playing William Wraith, who's a poet, who's just kind of that classic Irish poet lament. But the thing that he's really lamenting is the fact that he has gotten himself accidentally possessed by a banshee that he cannot get rid of despite all of his best attempts, and she is just the worst. So he's gonna be struggling with that.
Awesome. And lastly, Sean.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sean. I'm also from Paradise RPG. I'm the resident DM over there, Mr. Paradise. I DM our Monday night actual play show. And we do a lot of fun stuff over there, so check it out. Tonight, I will be playing Felix, a bit of an airhead, air genasi, artificer, alchemist artificer. And yeah, he just, everything's a little, everything's alchemy, man. When you boil it all down, it's all alchemy. And yeah, he's a fun guy. He does not get along with Ruby.
It's like we're all just playing ourselves, isn't it, really? To a greater or lesser extent. I'm not particularly lizard-like, and Kieran, to my knowledge, is not actually possessed by a banshee, but in all other respects, lives with one, I believe. Yeah.
Oh,
So
no, I don't think that. She's watching, so she's going to kill you now.
Yeah, that's fair. Great. I'm glad I live on the other side of the planet.
All right, let's save some lives and move on. I'm Mike Friday. I'm the DM over at Wonders and Blunders, and tonight I am the DM for you all. So to catch the chat up with what is going down tonight, our players here are members of FOMO, which is the Faculty of Observation of Magical Objects. They have been hired back by the Spire Academy, which is a very haughty, very prestigious magic university, that once its alumni graduate, certain ones are asked back to teach, or in this case, to become an elite drop squad of preppies who are sent to magical locations to gather intel, endear themselves with civilians, and generally make sure that when the nerds show up to analyze any magical objects there, that they don't end up being gathered up in a dustpan and sent home in a baggie. So this group, we begin in the Spire Academy, which is a well-named, a massive spire building shooting up out of the center of the city of Rittenness, which is a magical capital of the world of Fadoon. It is rumored that this university has been built on the ruins of a long-dead dragon's lair, and it is constantly abuzz with new students, old students, teachers, moving around, going from class to class, and generally making a muck of any magic that they are attempting. We would find you in various places around here, but one by one, you are going to start to receive from the pneumatic tube system that drops off your missions, a thump of a tube appearing in your rooms. Yeah. So starting with Erwin, where would we find Erwin right now?
Erwin's room is very humid. He's got his own little laboratory. He teaches basic biology. He's probably, his class is just filing out. Think all wooden, very sort of the sort of place where you'd have a lot of Bunsen burners and a lot of stuff in pickle jars along the walls. A good number of them are actually empty. He doesn't seem to have a huge repertoire of dead animals in his. He doesn't seem to like that in his classroom. Chalkboard. None of this newfangled whiteboard. No projectors. None of that rubbish. He's wearing a. It's like he's had a go at creating an academic's outfit, but he doesn't really get the nuance of it. He's basically just sewn leather patches onto the elbows of his normal clothes, because he figures that's basically what it is. So he's wearing what is functionally a badly torn safari suit, but with leather patches sewn needlessly onto the elbows of his work uniform. He is a fairly large crocodile man, the humidity level is very high. There's a lot of moss and things on the woodwork. The students normally come out there sweating, his eyes are, he reacts quite slowly to it and just looks over, picks it up, pops it open, and peruses.
And it just says Preppies to the Great Hall, which is fairly common for how vague these messages tend to be, but you know that you are about to very quickly be dropped into something that you're not fully prepared for.
He smiles and looks down at the ground and says, "Oh, it's that time again, Terry." And Terry, who is also a crocodile, is basically just an actual crocodile rather than one that walks and talks, looks up at him and rumbles something in Draconic that sounds vaguely like an agreement. And the two of us, I'm going to say, shamble off to the Great Hall.
Yeah, okay, yeah, opening the door and all of the students standing near the door getting blasted with this humidity as it opens up and just fogs the outside of the hallway.
Probably a bit of a slosh of water. Yeah.
Yeah. Like 3 or 4 of them slip and then have to kind of crab walk away from Terry.
Yeah, probably Felix is just regularly appears outside the door to have to mop something up.
So speaking of Felix, where do we find Felix at this point?
Felix would be in his room, so his room would have a lot of plants in it, a lot of different home grown stuff, a lot of lights, a lot of things to grow his own reagents for his alchemy and whatever else he'd like to grow. He's a big fan of plants. He's an air genasi, so he's got this light blue skin. His hair is kind of shaved on the sides like mine, except his hair kind of floats up and moves as if air is blowing through it. It looks like it's light blue, but it looks like if you've ever seen underwater video of seagrass just kind of floating back and forth. He's got a red headband that goes all the way around. He wears jorts and a sleeveless red V-neck, and wears a very, very, very large cardigan, a lot like the one I set on fire last year, if anyone remembers that, from the Scales crew, and sandals, and he's got just like potions on him at random places. Currently, right now, there's about 3 or 4 kettles and pots that are boiling over with water and other potions that he's not paying attention to. There's a light misting of incense throughout the room as he is in the middle of the room in his oversized cardigan doing yoga right now. He also, another note, he has from the about halfway up the arm down on his right arm is completely mechanical prosthetic, as he's just sort of dancing around slowly. You see a little gem in the corner of the room that's blasting a little bit of music that he's one of his artificer inventions. As every now and then, as he moves with the yoga, his wooden pipe comes to his mouth, comes away, bursting smoke out. I imagine as the notification comes down, he does not notice it at all and goes about his business. Finishing up with his yoga and plopping down on a really nice couch, head back, as you see a little mechanical bunny is hopping across the room with a big old gem in its chest, a homunculus for him. It grabs the message and comes and brings it over and starts smacking it against his head, as he'll lazily open his eyes and just with the pipe in mouth, open it up and oh man. All right. Darby, get my stuff ready. Darby, go get the stuff ready. As he would lazily, very slowly, probably will be late to the meeting.
Great. Let's jump to Ruby.
All right. So normally Ruby would be in her room, And her room is basically one big theatrical just place. There's like a raised platform in one corner. There's racks and racks and racks of costumes. There's some vanity lights. There's some vanities that have like the light bulbs all around, and there's glitter everywhere. And so normally she'd be in there, you know, doing things, but she just got the missive, and she's holding a clipboard in one hand, and she's holding the missive in her other hand, and she's like, oh, I don't have time for this. And then she like just is immediately turned out of her room, went to Felix's room, and is now hammering on the door. Did you pick up the programs like you were supposed to 2 weeks ago? And I guess I'll, you know, describe what she looks like. She's like a cross between Professor Trelawney, Rachel Berry, and Miss Darbus from High School Musical, if anybody knows who that is. She's just got bangles and necklaces and big dramatic, you know, clothes on, and is just like, she's the head of the drama club here at the Spire Academy, and their show is only a few days away from opening night, and she's stressing out. And Felix, for some reason, ended up on her stage crew, and he's not doing a great job.
It's because I'm the only one who knows how to do the lights.
So she's currently knocking on your door asking about programs.
Door open, sees who it is, immediately close the door.
That's not an answer. Do you have them or do you not have them?
What? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. You got the wrong room.
Burst into the room. Did you pick up the programs like I asked you to? We have to have programs.
I thought I was just doing the lights.
Oh my goodness gracious! You didn't get them, did you? You didn't get them. Did Darby get them? At least did Darby get them? Darby, did you get them?
Darby is standing on top of a stack of pamphlets or programs.
Oh
yeah.
One of you.
We did do it. We got it. We got it here.
At least one of you has your shit together. And she'll go and pick up the stack of programs, and then seeing that he also got the same missives, like, oh great, you got that too? Do we have to go now? I have so many things to do right now.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Great, let's go. And she turns on her heel with this teetering pile of programs, clipboard under her arm, and just leaves in a huff.
Okay, great. William.
William's room is extremely Spartan. It is a bed with a singular bed sheet on it. There's a kind of a wooden chair in the corner with a suitcase of clothing that he is still kind of living out of, despite the fact that he has been living here for an indeterminate amount of time. On the desk by the window, there's a single typewriter and a emerald brooch sitting next to it. And William would just be lying in his bed, kind of leaned back, writing in a journal pensively to himself. William himself is just dressed in a black pair of black slacks, a black button-up dress, and a black hat, with a tiny little green pocket square in his black suit jacket as well. And I think when the tube comes down, he just kind of looks over and lets out a long, drawn-out sigh, drags his feet out of bed, goes over, opens up the message, reads it as this ghastly green apparition appears behind him and just goes, and he goes, yeah. You've got to stop doing that to me every single time I read something. Folds it up, grabs the amulet off the table, kind of points at the ghost and says, like, we've got work to do, so we're going to the hall and we're getting it done, and I don't want to hear a peep out of you the entire time. Throws the necklace on, kind of tucks it into his shirt, and goes to leave, stops, turns back, grabs the book that he was writing in off of the bed, and then leaves the room, makes his way to the Great Hall.
Okay. So, one thing about this as a meeting area, it's great because all halls eventually lead to the Great Hall in the Spire Academy. Any student who becomes lost is naturally guided to this big hall lined with bookcases, all the way up, spiraling upwards into this big stained glass ceiling, which is very typical of most rooms in this incredibly gaudy university. There are fountains and lots of like large lounging couches around, lots of students together, wandering with their books, talking excitedly about their classes, little pops and paths of attempted magic going off as you make your way in. And preppies do come from a variety of schools of magic, and not even necessarily magic. There is a lot of mundane studies to be done at the Spire Academy as well, but everybody knows a preppy when they see one. And as each of you are walking through the halls, you catch quite a few glances of students, a lot of them looking on in immense respect and curiosity as you make your way through. Eventually, you would all make your way there, I guess everybody except for Felix right away. And this is a group, you would have been used to working together, although groups of preppies don't always go out exactly the same. All of you would have been around enough to have at least seen each other before.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Erwin would be, like, he's keen. He's up for this. He'd probably make haste. He gets to the Great Hall and has a look around. He enjoys the looks of respect. But doesn't sort of interact with the others about it. Just sort of like, yeah, I know, we're good. And I imagine a fair amount of the respect is also like, and also the crocodile. And so yeah, we get to the Great Hall and just Terry and I chill out in one of the fountains while we wait. But so if anybody comes in, they'll see just two alligator heads just floating. One's got a
Erwin,
head.
glad to see you're getting comfortable.
You see some bubbles, and then and then the head comes out and says, "Sorry, but hi, mate. How are you?"
Doing about as good as ever. Any idea what this is about?
Well, I imagine we've got a mission, buddy.
Oh, well, geez, you're a real sharp one, aren't you?
Beyond that, I imagine you received the same message I did, and they never are very specific.
That's true, that's true. I suppose we'll find out soon enough.
You chill out here, Terry. I think we've got work to do. Come on, William.
From the hall, like the entrance to the doors right by the entrance to the Great Hall, you'll hear Ruby's voice. She's just like shouting at various people, like, Marcus, you're gonna have to take over while I'm gone. I have this thing that I need to go to. Don't they know it's opening night? Oh my god. And she's just like, Lucy, practice that dance break. And just like commanding orders at everybody as she bursts into the room with programs scattering everywhere, and she almost loses her balance at one point, but she just puts them down in front of another person and says, Sam, fold those, and then goes and finds the other two.
Does Ruby have a dedicated spotlight op that just like the moment you come into the room, a spotlight hits you?
Prestidigitation at all times.
Yeah.
All time, yes, that's 100% what she's doing. She just constantly is casting prestidigitation, so there's a constant spotlight on her. Yes.
Yeah, Felix would be not too far behind her because she did bang on his door and make sure he's not too late. But he would be walking through the hallway very slowly, hands in the pockets of the cardigan, chewing on the pipe in his mouth. He would be stopping and talking to a lot of students because he's a very friendly faculty member. Like, or hey Marcus, don't stress out too much. Miss Rose can get pretty out there. Oh, hey Lucy. Okay, yeah. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. She's just, she's how she is. And
Lucy is sweating, doing the dance steps over and over again, and then as you say that, she's just kind of like, thank you, Mr. Felix.
You're gonna be so talented. You're just so talented. You're just so talented.
Yes, right away, Miss Ruby, and then starts dancing
No.
again.
All right.
He like,
Hey, Hey Sam,
Bro,
hey Sam.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
don't do that, buddy. No, don't do that. It's not work
Are
for
you
you.
gonna
All
fold
right.
them? Are you gonna fold
I
them?
know, I know. And he'll whistle,
right,
and Darby
then
will
let
jump
him-
down and start folding. Folders. You're doing great. Go take a break. Go take a break. You know, you got a test later today, so you go work on that. Extracurriculars aren't everything. And then he would
Excuse
slowly
me?
walk right in, and completely ignore Ruby. What do we all? What we? What's on the docket for today?
So with that, I think you start to hear a bit of commotion as down one of the hallways with a similar swirling of papers as Ruby's entrance, you spot, after some students move out of the way, your dwarven drop commander, Mads Dubin. And he is walking his way down just very calmly, little dwarven legs just carrying him stoutly through the center of all of these students. And he is just surrounded by grad students and post-grads and interns. And they are all just trying to get his ear and holding papers out in front of them. And he is staunchly ignoring them as he just walks straight towards you. And then turning back to all of the people behind him says, all right, all of you, leave me alone. If the next person who talks to me does not get any funding for any projects in the future. And all of them scatter, just leaving little dust motes behind them.
Ruby will walk up to him and say, Master Dubbins, don't you know that opening night is just 3 days away? Why now of all times? Just why?
Sorry, Ruby, you obviously know that this is over my head, but I have been assured that this is a short mission, so you're
3
very
days.
talented.
3 days.
You're-
I have
if
so
you're-
much to do.
You don't need time, Ruby, you have talent.
Okay, tell that to my chorus, my ensemble, who can't nail that number that we've been working on for 3 months.
Hey, you can trust Marcus. He's gonna get it done.
You stay out of it. I'm still angry about the lights that you messed up last week. Did you fix those yet? No, of course you didn't. Did Darby fix it? Son of a...
I'm gonna choose not to respond to that.
I just
running hot
whispered to
here.
William. It's like, there goes their funding for the next project she wants.
Best we just be keeping a tight lip on this one, I think.
And he says, all right, come on, follow me, and starts walking immediately. And as he walks, he says, all right, well, what do you know?
Specifically
There's-
about this?
Anyone
Noth-
tell you anything at all?
Oh, we're in the dark.
No, they were so rudely interrupted when I was amidst preparations. So, more information you can give us now, the better, so we can get started, get it over with, and I can get back to my show.
All right, well, yeah, okay, typical. Any of you heard of Yarum?
Yar.
If anyone
Have I
who's
heard of
proficient in
Yarum?
history would like to make a history check, you can.
I
am
am
not.
half proficient.
I'll allow it.
Great.
Birds.
Damn.
Bards.
Oh,
It's a 17.
that's pretty good.
17. Okay. With a 17, this is a fairly. I mean, it's not super well known, but there was a grand event that kind of shaped this whole world, called the War of the Weave. A lot of different sides disagreeing on what magic should be used for. The termination of that war wiped out a lot of the major elven society, which was at the time the majority holder of land in the world. And the most jarring thing that was left behind was a whole section of the world that was just glassed and has now been called the Death Wastes.
Yeah.
It used to be a desert, and now it is just a sprawling, broken land of just extremely dangerous wild magic spurts, these crazy elemental creatures. But there was one town that fairly quickly after the War of the Weave was able to set up a foothold in the Death Wastes, and that was called Yarum. And it was fairly famous for that reason, just because it was one of the first cities to pop back up on that continent.
Yeah, I did Shakespeare in the Park a long time ago. Why? Why do you ask?
I mean, I hadn't really heard of it myself, but I've been informed by the nerds that the Magister of Yarum may have made a very important discovery all those years ago. But when they searched the rubble of the city, they didn't find his home. In fact, that whole section of the city was missing from said rubble. So apparently they found some big secret library under the sand and got a hold of some book or journal or something that's got everybody all in a tizzy. I mean, I've seen the entries on it, they're sparse, but Master Revishil okayed the mission himself, so maybe it's more exciting than it seems to me.
Trip to the library. This is much better than most.
When you say missing, that's the word I'm fixating on here. The word, you said the whole bit of the town was missing. When you say missing, do you mean it's not there anymore, or it's been destroyed?
Well, we thought it was destroyed, or everyone did, really. But I'm now using the word missing because somebody found it.
Right.
And
Good.
you enter into the Nexus, which is this high-ceiling, domed room, which is just full of different teleportation circles. Grad students, again, making their way around, keeping these teleportation circles open as various teachers and students field trips coming back from all sorts of places around the globe. And as your commander, as Mads says that, he sort of gives a let's go motion, and a bunch of grad students shut down a teleportation circle. You actually see on the other side someone was about to step through it, and it just shut in their face, and then they got to work starting some new glyphs. And he says, I could explain it, but it might just be better to see it. And with that, the teleportation circle opens up, and he just nonchalantly walks through it.
Oh, okay.
All
It's
right,
like, well,
no
look,
time
if
like
he's coming
present.
with. Yeah, great. Come on, Terry.
So, as soon as you step through this portal, you're immediately hit by this warm salt air, which is blowing over the deck of one of the Academy's airships, which at this point is just lazily gliding over this town, which has these tall rectangular stone houses. They're nestled into these sharp cliffs, which are just overlooking the crashing ocean below. And as you're sort of overlooking this town, 4 wizards fly over your head in formation. And Mads turns to follow them. And there on the other side of the ship, floating about 200 feet over the water, is this perfect circular blue dome. And Mads
How
points
in
to
the
it and says,
nine hells did you lose that?
well, good question.
Is it
Fishing
floating?
ship. It's floating, yeah, floating in the sky.
Well, that would be how then.
Yeah, a fishing ship spotted it about a week ago. It's been steadily moving in this direction, closer and closer to the town here, so they called us in to make sure that it's not going to fall, I suppose.
Sure. Why is it moving? As in,
Well-
at what pace? Is the wind blowing it? Like,
Not the wind, we know that.
right,
That's about all we know.
great. So there's some other force propelling, and look, I accept that there's a fair amount of the city is floating, or a bit of a city is floating, so there's, confusion in that regard. Great. So you want us to go into the magical force field bubble
That's right.
and find out if and when the city will fall?
Yes, well, that is something we would like to know, but that to me sounds like a nerd question. What I'm looking from you is we need to send you inside and you have to find this book. When they found the Great Library, it seems that they took something from it. I don't know much about the book itself, but people are very interested in finding it. So, this bubble is beyond strong.
Yep.
We've tried all sorts of dispelling we cannot get rid of it. I don't even know if we'd want to if we could. But some of the Arcanists have been hard at work, and they have made this, and he leads you across the airship, which is now floating probably 30 feet from this orb. And on the edge of the airship, there is this big crystal cannon.
No,
And
I refuse.
Oh, I don't like the looks of this.
so we can put a hole in it just long enough to drop you in.
Good. Okay, I'm back on board.
Took me away from my show for a book.
Oh man, this is really good design. This crystal cannon, it's really
There's a lot of
nice.
values in books there, Ruby.
Yeah,
Most of your plays are written down in books.
That's it.
I'm aware, but
He's got a point there.
I'm not talking to you right now. I'm aware that plays come from books. I need to be with my show. 3 days. I don't think any of you realize 3 days is not a lot of
Well,
time.
Ruby,
Not even
the
10
more Miss Ruby, the more times you mention how long you've got, the less time you'll have. Let's get it done, yeah, and then you can come back.
An empty floating city? I mean, all we're doing is looking for a book. It really can't be that bad.
Please, please,
We'll get in
not
and
again.
out.
Don't,
Sure, we'll be
don't
home by
say
dinner.
Every time, every bloody time.
So
What's
we've
the
got a good
worst
Haven't
Feel
you
happy.
read any of those books that Ruby likes?
And Felix, I think you recognize two of the Arcanists that are working on this cannon, being in the same field of work as you. You see Glade and Fry Vathra, who are elven twins, and immediately Glade sees you and is just like waving. It's just like, Felix, oh, you gotta see this thing. Look what they let us build. This is crazy.
He would run up and kind of like crouch down and put his arms out and rush forward and be like, oh, Glade and Fry. Oh, they didn't know they got you on the project over here. Oh, what do you got here? What do you got here? Let me see.
And yeah, they're going over it with you, and she's just like, this is all of our dreams. I mean, remember when they almost expelled us for making that potato cannon?
Oh, yeah. That shot real far. We all took a hole out of the wall of the school.
Yeah, we almost sunk that
How would we
airship
know,
that time.
though, that it would turn into a fireball?
It was impossible to tell.
Exactly.
But we have improved that design 100-fold. And
Was
now
it based on
instead
that?
of- oh, it's incredible. Now we can shoot just basically an extremely concentrated spell. So what we can do is we can channel a dispel magic into this cannon and fire it at the wall there. And I mean, we thought we were going to pop the whole bubble, but we just made a little hole.
Oh, well. Hey. Same exact principle, dude. Same exact principle as the potato cannon. Blow a hole in the wall of the school, blow a hole in the wall of the city.
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess you have to go through the wall.
Yeah, kind of a bummer, but this is real cool. This is real good tech, man.
I thought you'd like this. I thought this would bring back some good memories.
Yeah, I've seen you since graduation. And they proceed to catch up.
Yeah. And Mad says, all right, it's going to take him about 10 minutes or so to get that thing charged up. Any last minute things you need?
Is there anything you can
want to take a look?
tell us about this book that we're going for? Does it have a title, a name? Or are we just looking for every book that we can bring back? Because, I mean, we could do that. But it might take a
No.
while if it's a
No,
whole
we can't.
library.
Nope.
Well, I can make this bag of holding to get them all.
Welcome in, the welcome in, Raiders.
Oh, hello.
Greetings.
Hey.
Thank you for the
Good on you.
raid.
Thank you.
We're about to
Oh,
shoot
welcome.
these guys into a magic bubble.
Yeah, I was dead set worried that you were going to load us all into that fucking cannon.
I did too. I
Me
I was
too,
just
me
like,
too.
no, hard pass, hard no. I have seen a circus and no, alligator cannon, no thank you.
Boy, we're in one.
So I think Erwin would probably go parachutes, featherfall spells, something along those lines. How far is the fall? Or are you going to aim
so-
at ground level?
Looking at the orb itself, it looks like from end to end in both directions is about 500, 600 feet.
Great.
It's a fairly sizable section of the city. And to answer your question, William, Matt says, I don't actually know very much about the book, but the only reason we know about it is because the town seemed to be quite proud of finding it. So I would check places of prominent display. They had a magister, so if you can find any sort of magister's laboratory or something like that, there would at least be probably some studies done on it.
Yeah,
There you go, Ruby. It's in prominent display. It won't be that hard to find. We'll probably go in, they'll be having a parade, hand the book right over, and we'll be back through in no time.
All
Like I
right.
said, I got
also,
a good feeling about this.
That poses another interesting point. Is it inhabited?
No, and the ship now is sort of rising up above, and you can see that through this orb, it is see-through. It's very, very obscured, everything just like this deep blue inside. It doesn't look like the sunlight is actually piercing the orb. But you can see that there is like a perfectly carved out half sphere of Earth just pressed up against the bottom. And then on top of that, you can see several buildings inside, but they are choked and surrounded by plant life.
Love it. Loving it more and more. I can understand why you didn't want to describe what had happened. You felt it better to just show us. So, as far as we can tell, not inhabited.
And I mean, how long has it been up floating here?
Valid question.
Well, the city, whatever happened to the city, happened about 600 years ago.
Okay.
So it's been
Floating
going for quite some
600
time.
years? And nobody's done anything about it up until now?
Well, nobody knew it was here until, what, a week ago.
It's a giant floating bubble. How did nobody see it?
Right?
No, right?
yeah,
That's what I said.
When they're at sea, I guess people don't look up. Yeah,
Yeah, the ocean's a real big place.
that is also technically true.
If you're, I mean, you have to look up when you're sailing. I played a pirate once, and they were looking up all sorts of ways
Oh,
to check
no.
the weather and stuff.
We all go, here we go.
And Matt says, I've just have one correction to make very quickly, William. This is not quite that lickety-split. It will take us about a full day to recharge the cannon, so you'll be inside for 24 hours before we can extract you. That is as quickly as we can get you out.
Is there like a signal, a sort of or something?
Flare guns or anything?
I can take care of that when it's time. No problem. Can we any sooner than 24 hours, please?
And he kind of looks over at at Glade and Fry, and Glade is like, no, and Fry is like, maybe.
Getting a solid probably not.
Very likely explosion if we do it too early.
And then we don't get to get out for at least a week.
It's my friends over there. They got us. We'll be out of here in no time.
So basically, like, we go and we find the thing, then we get back, you send the signal, and they get us out as soon as they can.
Yeah,
Well,
so
we-
you have 24 hours to find it, minimum and maximum.
Brilliant.
Here we go.
What maximum? Oh, as in we come out after 24 hours one way or the other?
That's the idea. Well,
Right.
I mean, we could open the door and you could say no, and then we'll recharge the gun, I guess.
For
But,
another, but I don't see Ruby signing on for that.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, right. All right, well...
We
see-
get a
yeah.
book, and then, we do a little sightseeing. And we got
rough
everything
estimate,
booked.
how many buildings could you fit in that sphere?
they've actually reconstructed what they believe the city looked like before. So under all of that stuff, and he
right.
gives you the map, which I
Right.
shared with you. So the inside of this city looks like there's like a small living area. The nerds had determined that when the city was destroyed, they were in the middle of a festival called the Festival of Endurance for in the name of Ilmater. And there is a big palace of Ilmater within this area as well. There is a central fountain, which was kind of a gathering place in which the festival was set up around. There was like a small residential / mercantile district, which was swallowed up in this orb, and then a garden.
Right. Well, I think the gardens, as is often the way, nature finds a way.
Well, I don't really think they're going to be highlighting a book in the gardens there, but...
Well,
Looks
I
like a
think
few
they
good
are now.
spots. True.
Suppose this will be good for some scene study.
Oh, we got a whole palace here. A place of prominence. It's probably where the book is.
You'd think. That's probably where I'd start. There's a sort of a towery thing over on the other side, though. What's Wayland's court? That looks... This magister... What? So, this is Josh asking. What is... A magister would be the mayor, or like a priest, or a scholar?
A court wizard, like
Right.
usually helping out the leaders of the town with any magical needs.
Do we know the name of said magister? It wasn't Wayland by any chance.
You don't know.
Yeah, damn.
But you like even looking through here, you can see this tower sticking up out of the vegetation,
Yeah,
and it is it's a wizard tower.
I mean, I'd probably start there. to be honest. Cool. Great.
So you start to hear this whirring sound behind you as the cannon starts to light up
Great.
and shake. And now the entire ground under you is beginning to shake. And you can see Glade and Fry are looking on with excitement, but also, like, there is quite a bit of fear. Like, Fry is ghost white right now, staring at the cannon. And they kind of look over, and Mads is like, all right, are you, everybody feel ready?
Oh,
That's
hell yeah.
all I'll ever be.
Yeah, no, one step closer to death.
Thank you.
All right, Glade, Fry, fire it up. And as you gather around, again, it has been building energy for quite some time now, and now, like, you can see little pieces of crystal splintering off the sides as this
Here we go.
massive gathering of arcane energy is starting to build up inside of it. And Glade and Vale have now taken a step back, and then Mads, looking at them, also takes a step back. And just when it seems like all of these crystals are just going to shatter in all directions, a concentrated beam shoots out the front. And you see the blue orb straining against it, and very slowly this opening just starts to grow. And Mads just gives you a salute and says, all right, good luck, preppies. We'll see you tomorrow.
Do you ever clear the parachute thing, or feather fall, or what? Are we just jumping?
And Fry's like, hurry!
Hey, we gotta go fast. This thing doesn't have time. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yep. William just runs and leaps off the boat.
Same. I do it, but I'm riding another crocodile. It's like
Felix
it's like
does
that
very
picture
graceful
of
dive.
Bush riding a nuclear bomb. It's
How far away from the like, if we jump off the airship to the ground, how far away is that?
You're not too far off the ground. It looks like you're about 20 feet. Like it
Oh.
would be a 20-foot diagonal down.
Perfect. Dimension door.
Okay, great. So
William is going to levitate his way down as like the ghostly apparition kind of appears around him, and he just kind of like he just jumps off and then just floats peacefully down and through the hole.
Yeah.
Ruby
Okay.
Felix
there's
is also
tapping.
going to.
Go ahead.
Felix is also going to cast levitate as an air genasi, and he's just going to be doing like nice little swimming shapes as he's just gently flowing down like he's in a river.
And Ruby's standing there at the ground, arms crossed, tapping her foot, just impatiently waiting for everybody to get there.
But she is forced to take one step to the left as Erwin just.
So here's the thing.
Gets up, brushes
You go
himself off.
You do go through this hole one at a time, but you don't land on the ground.
Oh.
You feel like you're falling. Those with levitation falling gently. Ruby, you appear, but you feel like you just appear in the air. And Erwin and Terry, you're just kind of falling all next to each other. And you can see each other, but the area around you is just white. This white, bright light just illuminating the bunch of you.
I think we died.
Why do you sound happy?
Quickest mission yet.
No, Ruby will never
Record-breaking
get back
time.
now.
Now, as you're falling, you start to hear music. Like this slow, kind of sad song. And down below you, as you're falling, you see a group of people, and they're all standing around in a perfect circle. And they're watching this half-elf man and this orc woman, and they are slowly dancing together, staring lovingly into each other's eyes. And they're both wearing these blue robes. Actually, everyone is in the crowd. All of them adorned with these beautiful flowers of all different colors. And now, as you're falling, you also notice that there are like flower petals falling through the air around you. And focusing in, I think, especially Erwin, there is a flower in this orc woman's hair, this brilliant blue tulip. And there's something about it that just draws your attention. It is perfectly natural, but like too much so. It is there's something that kind of pings off your studies. And as you are staring down at these people as they just slowly dance together, you are suddenly just choked by this dry heat. The dancers disappear, the white disappears, and the world snaps in around you. And you fall 15 feet onto the ground in a heap altogether.
Hilarious.
I think get your tail off of me,
Sorry,
Erwin.
sorry. No, that's Terry. Sorry, Terry. Come on.
Damn it, Terry.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, what a ride.
I
We all
don't.
saw that, right?
I don't.
Yes,
Oh,
that looks like a scene
Oh, it's
right out
beautiful.
of our last
so
show.
dry
It's
here.
gorgeous.
Great. Very normal, natural thing to be experiencing, those kind of hallucinations.
Yeah, great. You all saw that flower, right? That tulip in her hair? That
There was a lot of
beautiful
flowers.
thing. It was good. No, well, there was one specific in the orc woman's hair. There was that. She had this.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was a good
Oh.
costume.
Oh,
that was curious.
wait,
Making
that's
a note
not
of that.
something you see every day.
What?
And there's just this human man standing looking down at the bunch of you. He just has this black hair and he's wearing a blue robe that is ordained with all sorts of flowers.
Oh,
And then
good
from
eye.
behind him, you see this old man who's just like sitting in a rocking chair. And he says, "What do you see every day?" And he turns around and says, "You, unfortunately," and then just makes his way off. And you see this city is not abandoned. It is not
Yes.
choked with vines.
Yeah.
It is full and vibrant. There are people everywhere. There is speech. People are talking and laughing and walking through the streets as if it's completely normal. And most notably, there is no blue barrier right behind you. This
Huh.
city sprawls in all directions. These small streets sort of winding into one another off into the distance in this hot desert air.
So
Right,
the
so
bubble
Intel
was
was
right
wrong.
behind us. Sorry, you go, Kieran.
Oh no, that's I'm just shocked by the intel. Well, not really
bubble-
shocked, I suppose. It's never really that surprising when they flub it up, but boy, were they off by a mile on this.
I mean, in fairness to them, I wouldn't have predicted this either.
This is gonna take longer than a day.
The bubble behind us. The bubble was right behind us, wasn't it?
It was.
I go back to where it should be. And have I poke it with a stick. Dead set.
Yeah. Well, you poke forward, and that stick is coming fairly close to this man and his old man friend, who are now sitting down on the street, sort of people watching.
Right. It's like, sorry, gents, and I move over to a side, so I don't want to impugn in anybody's personal space. But I do give a good old poke. And
Yeah,
it doesn't
and you
appear to
never-
meet any resistance?
No, none at all.
Great. Huh. Well, it's going to make
Cities.
getting back a bit harder.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do we see any sign of the airship above?
No, looking up, you actually see just the sun, and it's starting to set. It's almost nighttime now. You have probably another 30 minutes to an hour of daylight left.
Well, at
I
least there's that.
turn on Felix. What did they do? What did they do to that cannon? Did you see it? Did you tell
well,
it to
you know,
do it?
it was do what? Tell them to strand us in some extra dimensional place with
Yes, exactly.
strangers?
Yes.
No,
that.
he's a concentrated dispel magic cannon that shot a big old hole in the wall of whatever that their floating city was, and what was inside is this. That's all.
Then how do you explain this? The ship. It's
Well,
gone.
I'm not quite sure, but can I make an Arcana check?
Yes, you can.
You know, I think I can safely bet that the answer is probably magic.
Oh, bloody oath. You reckon, you think?
Oh, it's an 8.
Oh no! It's almost 17.
So what specifically are you wondering with that Arcana check?
I'm wondering, as someone who tinkers a lot with magic, and has met with a lot of people like Glade and Fry who do tinker as well. Like, every artificer knows how to make a bag of holding, and there's more space inside a bag of holding than there is in the bag. Same thing with the city. He's kind of just thinking about those sorts of things.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's like that kind of keys off to you that yeah, this place could be like, maybe the barrier's not right here, but it is somewhere much farther away from you. And I think, but I think you do know that, like, their cannon, as unstable and crazy as it was, did work as intended.
You see, Felix would be wiping with a cloth his set of goggles that he's now putting on to get ready for the adventures. It's very simple, you know, like, the cannon worked. We're here, right? Right, Ruby? We're here. It's just a matter of if you've ever used any kind of bag of holding, or have you ever heard of any extra... we got bags of holding in the
Yes, of
drama
course, I
club.
know
That's
what
how we keep all the props in.
I know what a bag of holding is.
Well, how big is a bag, and how big is the prop bag? How big is this bubble, and how big is this city?
It
It all makes sense. The math works. The math works.
Oh,
It
does
would,
it?
though, because everything, like, we saw, it was all crammed full of flora and fauna. And there's a lot of flora and fauna, but it's not all crammed together. But you're putting it all into a much smaller space, so it'd all be sort of smooshed up, wouldn't it?
There was
Yeah,
no
Yeah.
one
You see,
here.
he flicks around a few like loose pieces of metal, and then immediately an image appears over the metal that's completely different from the metal, using his magic tinkering, and it just projects this beautiful image, 3D image of Darby floating in a circle, dancing. He's like, yeah, you know, simple illusions. They probably didn't want anyone to know they're in here. The wall is just probably a lot further away from all of us. So yeah, it might take us a little longer to get to the wall, but everything worked according to plan.
I mean, I suppose we could always just ask around.
Yeah.
As I look over to the old man, the two old men sitting up on the on the front porch.
We've overheard
Yeah,
this
and they
entire
are just like
conversation.
sitting there, rocking back and forth, looking at you with great interest.
Imagine we're
Excuse me,
standing
fellas.
right in front of their porch.
Yeah,
This is Yarum we found ourselves in here today, is it?
that's right.
And this is a regular looking day here for the city.
Oh, well, no. I mean, I assume that's why you're here, but we're quite dressed up today. And he ruffles his blue cloak, and a bunch of flower petals come off of it. And he says, it's
Very nice.
the festival of endurance. I figured that's probably why you were here, making such a grand entrance as you did.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely why we're here. We heard all about the festival. Sounds like a great time. Definitely doesn't sound like it was 600 years ago. Okay.
Gents, I have a question. May I, William, if you don't mind?
Oh, by all means, I'm at a bit of a loss for words.
My good friends, what's the date? Just want to make sure I've got my dates right. You know, Pale and I travel and all that. What date is it?
Well, it's March 4th, the Emperor's year 24.
And I compare that with what I know.
So not even the same dating system
Calendar. Yeah, no,
that
no,
you
that's
that
not
you know
helpful.
of. Yeah.
But yeah, how long of the would I know how long the festival of Ilmater lasts, and how long the festival of Endurance, which is oddly what this city seems to be doing?
You wouldn't know offhand.
No, gentlemen, how long does the festival of Endurance last?
Well, this is the last night. The gala is tonight.
Ah, of course. Ah, good. We got here just in time then. Good. You can never tell with these teleportation spells. All right. Well, thank you very much, my friends. Yeah. Look, Ilmater bless you and so forth. Right. Shall we, gentlemen and lady?
Oh, on this the most blessed emperor's year.
24th.
Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Ruby has a notebook out and she's furiously scribbling notes into it. She'll look up every so often and like go over and like inspect the a wall and like do a quick rough sketch of it and take a couple measurements and do the same thing.
Cool.
Felix would be scratching his head as his companions leave the two gentlemen and go up to me like, hey, one last question. Have you heard or seen about a really important book?
Oh, you would be speaking of that find from the Great Library.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we heard a few rumors about that, but not too much. Do you know anything?
Yes, quite an adventure. They said that it was, falling down around them as they escaped with only a single book. It seemed whatever forces were there were quite set on keeping it. Or that's what they say anyway. I'm just an old man. They don't tell me much. But if you're looking
they
for
don't
more
tell me much
information,
either.
yeah. Oh well, of course, out of towner with all the excitement, and you're out of costume, so yeah, you must be catching quite a few looks.
Oh yeah, we haven't got a chance to get dressed up yet, but it sounds like quite the important book.
Well, good luck finding some flowers. But if you're looking for a tip, I heard some ne'er-do-wells down by the Wanderer's Mirage were saying that they were going to find, well, they obviously, being ne'er-do-wells, waited too long to find their flowers, and so they were going to make their way into the catacombs to rob some that were left behind. Now, I didn't tell you that, of course, but
No,
if
of
you
course
were
not.
looking for flowers.
Well, you're very friendly, sir. Thank you very much. What was your name again?
My name is Garen.
Garen. Felix. Nice to meet you. And Felix gets very friendly and gives him a handshake, grabs the arm really aggressively, friendly handshake.
Oh, wow, yes. Oh, very
I
nice.
was very happy to be here on your most joyous festival day. Thank you for the information, Garen.
Felix!
Oh, I gotta go now. They're calling me. See you later, Gary.
Goodbye.
Apparently, it's big news, this book, but we are a little out of the loop with the costumes. We might get too many questions if we don't get dressed up.
Leave that to me. I immediately start looking for a place where I could acquire, if not the exact robes, like maybe like blue cloth that I could just drape over everybody.
Sounds like
Okay.
they might be rare, but yeah, go for it.
Make a
You know, you carry
or,
on.
sorry, just make a perception check,
Got it.
Ruby.
That would be a 17.
Wow. Okay. You looking around in this area, you start to see that there's quite a bit of potential for building costumes. There are a lot of blue banners that are hanging off of buildings here. In this area where you're standing, you can actually see the sign, The Wanderer's Mirage. You are basically right across the street from it, and it looks like it is a tavern. Next to that is the inn, the Shaded Slumber Inn, and both of them are decorated on the outside with these flowing banners, which are catching now the evening breeze.
Excellent. I have worked with far fewer materials when I was first starting out as a young thespian, so I am going to quickly take a look at everybody, get a mental note of their sizes, because I can do that with all the years that I've been studying and putting together costumes, and I will go take the exact amount of banners that I need to make costumes for everybody.
Just
And
gonna
not
steal
a
the
banner
banners.
over. Yep.
Can I look for any plant life that would bear flowers?
Yes. You can also make a perception check,
I shall.
or you could do nature or survival, whichever is best.
Very proficient. 27.
27. Okay. Yeah, you are looking around. Everybody is wearing flowers in their hair, on their necks, on their clothes themselves, and there are flower petals that seem to be. It even seems that there are wreaths set up in high places so that flower petals will blow over the city at this point in time.
Right.
So looking over, you kind of think, oh, I could probably grab one of those wreaths. It does look like they've been jumbled up so that they will fall apart, but you might be able to salvage something from that. But the thing that catches your eye the most is just down the road,
Garden of Lovers.
through the crowd, you see that there is a building with a small swinging sign called Bell's Botany.
Ah.
And just as you look down there, you can see that they have stands outside advertising flowers that have been completely cleared out, absolutely empty. But you see the door open as somebody steps outside, and as they are locking up, they turn and you get a flash of that brilliant blue,
Oh,
that perfect flower.
I want one of them. But for the now, I would surreptitiously grab a wreath and, using Druidcraft, make it blossom.
Oh, great.
And just make it generate as many flowers as I can make it generate, and then say, "Here you go, Ruby. That might assist
Oh,
with
this is
your
perfect.
costuming."
Thank you, Aaron. Make as many of those as you can. We're gonna need lots of them.
I
Excellent.
just hold it in my hands, and it just continues to bloom.
You're a gem.
Focusing
You're a
on
gem.
it.
You're a gem.
All right, you've got the costumes, you've got the flowers. I'll take the pub. And William walks into the tavern.
Wait.
We are dealing with stereotypes. Why not?
I cast Mage Hand and scurry up. I was like, wait a minute, I'm not done yet. And I just hand up the end of the banner to my mage hand. Here, hold this, and just kind of finish like tucking things into place, and then just kind of wave it away. It's like, okay, go.
Okay.
One presumes we're not just in the middle of the street doing this. We never specified that we weren't, but
I think at this point it's so busy, and it seems like everyone is heading in one direction right now. So William, like, even as you're making your way into the pub, it is only you and one other person walking through the door. Everybody else seems to be leaving now. And as Ruby, as you're making these costumes in the street, and you see people come out, and you see actually somebody coming out, sort of waving people off from the Shaded Slumber Inn, and it's just like this stout dwarven woman who walks out, and she looks up and she's kind of stroking at her beard, and then she sees one banner and then looks to where her other one is, and it's not there. And then she looks over at the group of you while you're making these in the street.
It's all for the arts. It's for the arts. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, down to the arts. What about my decorations?
Excuse me? Did you just say damn to the arts? Let me tell you. And she goes off into this very, very loud tirade about
Fucking Felix.
Yeah. So I think you can make me an intimidation check. You're gonna contest this dwarven
Sure.
woman who is also like, yeah, she's walking towards you like, yeah, I said damn to the arts and I'll say it again.
19.
Okay. But you walk her sternly back into the inn.
That she was actively trying to leave.
Yeah. And
I hope you think twice before you damn the arts again.
yes, ma'am, I've got a great amount of respect for the performers.
As you
Have a
should.
wonderful day. And she, backs inside.
Oh, were it so easy.
And William, you step inside of the pub, fairly empty, and the barkeep there is just kind of scrubbing up, like cleaning up after all these people have cleared out.
Yeah, and William walks right up to the bar and just goes like, "Oh, can I get a pint, please?"
Of course. Not heading up to the festival grounds.
Oh, I'll make my way up in a little bit. I figured I'd see a little bit of the city. I'm a bit new in town and a bit lost and confused.
Oh, well, nowhere better to feel lost and confused than the old pub, hey. And slides you down a pint. And the door opens behind you again, and he looks up and says, well, everyone's lost today. And then he says, Timon. And you turn around, and you see the half-elf man that you saw dancing as he walks inside looking nervous and just says, something strong, please. And
I like your style.
he says, thank you, sir. It's not my normal style. This is quite out of character for me, actually. And you can tell as he gets slid a shot of something that smells spicy, he takes it, and you can see him struggling to keep it down.
You're feeling a little bit nervous, are you?
Yes. It's just, you know, the gala tonight and all of the dancing and the merriment. And
You're not a dancer? I've got a
Not at
fine
all.
tap dance teacher with me if you'd like to learn a few steps.
I've not heard of that type of dancing.
Oh, it's mostly just stomping around and making a racket, but it looks pretty nice.
Well, I mean, if they can work quickly, then maybe I would take you up on that. Oh, but I do have to move ever so fast. Could you, I mean, I don't have a tab, but can I start a tab? And he says, yes, of course, Tim, and I know where you're at. And he says, perhaps maybe if I see you at the gala later, you can introduce me to your dancing teacher.
Absolutely. Timond was the name.
Yes, Tim and Bell. And he
William
shakes your
Wraith.
hand.
Pleasure to meet you. And I kind of go to raise my pint glass in the air, and as I do that, around me appears the Banshee, who just lets out a wailsome screech and shatters the glass in my hand. As William just kind of goes like, Great, just absolutely bloody brilliant. You go this far away, and she still follows you somehow everywhere you go. Sorry about that, folks. You got a broom?
And the bartender is standing there just wide-eyed, and then just very shakily reaches over and grabs a broom, and very shakily reaches it across to you.
Thank you. I'll see you at the dance later, Timond.
And he says, yes, of course. And then he backs up, and as he does, from under one of his robes, this blue flower lands on the ground, and he, stumbles forward and picks it back up again and slowly backs out into the street.
Yeah, and William just starts sweeping up the glass and cleaning up the mess.
And yeah, the bartender is just staring at you, wide-eyed as you do it.
A few kind of gold on the counter, and I said, sorry about the mess, but thanks for the pint. It was good while it lasted. And wanders back out to meet the group.
Yeah, just you try to hand him back the broom, and it just falls on the ground, and he watches you go. So with these new robes and these new flowers, you're kind of fitting in among all of the people here. They all have robes of various fabrics, but all just a very similar color. These beautiful flowers that have now been grown, adorning your necks and wrists and hair. What would you like to do?
I think go with the flow. See what this. I mean, if this all, they're very proud of the book. Everyone's going to be there. Not a bad place to start.
Well, yeah, getting to know people really gets you a lot of information, so maybe we could talk to some folks while we go to the festival.
Yeah.
People are the soul of the city.
Yeah. All right, let's do that then. I put the wreath on Terry's head. Like a crown.
All right. So you're heading up to the festival grounds?
Correct.
Okay. So making your way up through there, just following the end of this group that's making their way up there, you pass by this fountain in the central area, and as you make your way up, you can see this man who you recognize, William, actually, on the way up. You see him standing and talking with two other people. Well, not so much talking to them as he's watching them talk, while kind of sheepishly standing off to the side. Everyone else is making their way around to all of these tents, picking up all sorts of food, these sweet and savory smells just washing over you as you come up into this area, as the last of the sun dips behind the ridge. Everyone who's walking around now, they have all sorts of flower-themed foods, like this cotton candy-looking stuff, and all sorts of like candies and pies that look like flowers. And that is, and I think, again, Erwin, you are drawn to this flower, which this half-elf man is holding while watching these two people talk.
Yeah, right. Can I'd like to cast Detect Magic. Specifically with a thought to the flowers.
Okay.
And why I might, to try to determine why this is so alluring to me.
And when you cast Detect Magic, can you also make an Arcana check for me?
Yes, cast Detect Magic and make an Arcana. It's +1, unfortunately, but there we go. 11.
11? Okay. So your Detect Magic goes off. You see a lot of sort of prestidigitory magic to augment the area. Over this flower, though, I think when you cast Detect Magic, you start to see that this was grown over a long period of time using like magically augmented soil. This is called a flower of eternal bloom.
Oh,
and
lucky.
You have read about these. It is a flower that takes years and years to grow, but it is virtually unkillable once it is grown. You can pluck it, you can replant it, you can do anything you want with it. It will never wilt.
Oh. And there are loads of them all over the place, or is it very rare?
No, very rare.
All right. Get my mitts on one of them. Cool. All right. But it does. It's not a negative thing at all. It's a nice thing. We're not worried about that, and I wouldn't think it was necessarily related to the. I mean, I could understand why it would be a symbol of endurance, but it's not necessarily related to the book we're here for.
No.
No. Cool though. Nice.
And when you're sort of looking over this person, you now recognize them as that man who was dancing.
Oh,
And
yeah, right.
he is looking at these two people who are speaking. One of them has their back to you. And when she turns around to see Timon, you see that it's the orc woman who was dancing.
She's
And she kind of looks at him with surprise as the third figure makes their way towards you, kind of brushing past quickly, looking irritated.
What did the third person look like?
The third person was wearing extremely nice robes and very official looking, with very clearly like a magical focus, which is imbued with the symbol of Ilmater around their neck. A human man with a long black beard. And yeah, he walked past kind of cursing to himself as he brushed past you.
Yeah. I would wait to see. I don't want to interrupt. A person I don't know is Timon, but I presume that's Timon.
Yeah. So that the Timon is the half elf who is now speaking with the orc.
I just
And
met
you
that
see
fellow in
him-
the bar from that vision we got. Said his
Oh.
name was Timon. Afraid of dancing, he said he was.
Well.
Huh.
So do we suppose that vision is a premonition?
We were talking about a gala later.
Yeah.
Does seem to show a bit of a dance that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, all right. And he's talking to this young lady. Well, I don't know. Is she young? I'm assuming it's a lady.
She's so she looks a fair bit older than the half elf, but not a whole lot. Probably in like her mid-30s.
Right.
She is wearing like some nice blue robes as well, but also clearly wearing some armor underneath. And she has quite a large, impressive sword at her hip.
Yeah, well, they look like a good match. I mean, I'm not particularly good with warm-blooded, you know. Do they look like a good match? Is this a warm-blooded mating thing? I don't-
Love knows no bounds.
Oh no judgment, mate. No. Honestly, you all look a little like to me.
That scene, the vision, I guess it was. I'm not really sure. It looked beautiful. It looked like a
Ceremony?
center stage. Nope, center
Yeah.
stage moment.
Yeah, right.
I wonder why
Well,
we saw
there's
it.
got to be a reason we saw it. And we can find out more about this gala.
Sure.
She looks pretty well armed for a gala.
Oh, she's I think that's a half orc, isn't it? They tend to be fairly well armed, in my experience.
And you actually hear like a fight break out in the festival grounds. A couple of people start rolling over each other, a little bit too drunk as the night starts to get dark. And with that, the orc makes her way towards that noise, and watching her go, still holding on to this flower, is the half elf man, and he kind of like nods to himself a few times, and then he heads off to the west.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say that he wants to give that flower to her.
Do you know any better?
Well, that is a mating ritual between warm-blooded, so
I mean, it's a beautiful flower. I can't imagine anybody wouldn't appreciate it. But
It's actually a very special flower. That's a flower of eternal bloom. Which would make sense because this is a whole longevity endurance thing, and those things never die. They're also wicked, and if you happen to manage to lay your fingers on one, I wouldn't mind one.
Tried to find one for a show we did 2 years ago, and we couldn't find one.
Yeah, they're
That's it.
a pain. Yeah. Well, I did see that there was a flower shop that it looked like they might have one. I might investigate before we bugger off.
Listen, as much as a lovely flower can be, we are here for a bit of a reason.
Oh,
We're
I
looking
know,
for a
I
book,
know.
and
Yeah.
we thought
Yeah,
this
there's
book wasn't exactly going to be guarded, but I'm starting to
was
get a
that
little bit worried about
nicely,
what we've gotten ourselves into.
There was that nicely dressed gentleman with the robes, the beard, the black beard. There was Blackbeard over there. He looked like a bit of a magister if I ever seen one.
Yeah, I didn't want. He seemed busy and cross, so I didn't want to interrupt him. But maybe
He's
we
very
could
rude.
follow him.
Oh,
I'm
figure out
not a-
where he lives. If he's the one who has the book, I mean,
I'm not adverse to a bit of larceny. It'll be dark soon.
I'm not
I
averse
can-
to thinking that any of this is even real, so I don't really mind stealing from an already dead man. I just hush up the banshee.
I put the mental image of it. Don't even. And it disappears again.
Yeah.
If it was that easy, why don't you always do that?
It's really not.
Well, so what are we doing? Are we following this gentleman, or are we going further into the festival? What should we do?
Do we see that gentleman? Can we still see him in the crowds?
He is gone. Yeah, he moved off
okay.
into the crowd pretty quickly. He looked like he was on a mission.
Where was he heading?
We've lost him. We could all just
South.
split up in 4 separate directions, and
Yeah, that's a great idea. I am adverse to anything beyond pairs.
We're splitting up, gang.
Yeah,
We'll come
Will and I'll
together.
go. Will and I'll follow the Magister gentleman. If you do,
Oh.
or how like I'm up for whatever, Ruby. You know me. Do you want to hang out with me and Terry over here, and we'll go look for the Magister bloke? Or you can go with Will and I'll go with. I don't give a damn.
Will and I could go and ask some questions of this crowd. If we could
Yeah,
find
we could
out
go
anything.
You two
check out the
yeah.
festival and figure
Yeah.
out when this gala is, when or where the gala is going to be taking place.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ruby just starts walking in a direction.
All right. I go with Ruby. Come on, Terry.
Meet back. Meet at that
The
gazebo in the
place.
middle of town in
Yeah,
an hour.
we'll see you at the fountain in an hour. Yeah.
Okay. So as you start to split up, we will take our break.
Yep.
So we'll be back in 5 minutes or so.
Alrighty.
So thank you everybody for sticking around. I hope you're enjoying it. We'll see you soon.
Take care.
Hello and welcome back to the Roll for Damage channel, where we are doing part one of FOMO, the Drifting City. So our party has dove inside of a bubble, which is no longer a bubble. It's a big, beautiful city in the middle of the Festival of Endurance. And in classic party fashion, we have decided to split the party. So
Yep.
who is going with whom, and where are you going?
Shannon and I are heading south. Ruby and Erwin are heading south. Presumably aiming towards, we're guessing towards the tower. Meaning to follow a gentleman that we cannot no longer see, but we figured
Yes.
who he might be. We think he's the Magister, and we're heading to where we think his tower is. And even if he's not the Magister, we're heading to the tower anyway.
Okay.
All of that.
And
William-
and Felix, where are you headed? Yeah.
William and Felix are going diving deeper into the Festival of Endurance to scope the crowd for information about this new book and
Meet friends, look for books.
mostly
Okay.
make friends.
I think that's our MO.
So I think following the biggest of the crowds, Felix and William, you notice that most people are starting to actually head inside the Palace of Ilmater now. Having gotten their food and their drinks, you can hear that music has started from inside. In moving through the crowd, I think you spend probably half an hour or so listening for what people are talking about, and it seems like a lot of people are actually pairing up and looking for dance partners for the gala. Those people who aren't already with somebody are looking around and trying to find last-minute people to go with. You can make both of you can make perception checks if you want, or one of you can do it with advantage.
I have +10 to perception.
You should totally make it with advantage. I'm bad at seeing things.
I also automatically get advantage for sight-based because of my goggles.
Oh,
Because
nice.
I'm an artificer who made fancy goggles. But full advantage, that would be good for sight and hearing. 25.
25. Okay, so you can hear a lot of people talking, just saying like how well the festival is going. Like that, people seem to believe that they've really impressed Ilmater, and that at this point now, what you're seeing is like the big breaking of a fast. That these people have been fasting for a few days now, and that this rolling out of drinks and food is breaking that fast, and that they have now endured to the end and they get to party.
Oh, this festival's going really good. Yeah. Nothing could really go wrong at this festival. It's been a blast.
And when you, but yeah, everybody is now heading inside the palace. In there, you can see that there are lights starting to emanate from inside, and you can hear music as people start to pair up and head inside.
So,
Yeah, I mean, follow the crowd, I suppose. If we're looking for the gala, that's probably it.
yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think the gala's tonight, actually. Real quick. Before. Oh, wait, I don't have that spell. Never mind. Let's go in.
Okay, so you make your way inside. You notice that people are starting to take to the dance floor, and I'll carry over that 25. In here, you can see that this orc woman is actually there, the only real familiar face. You can see that Felix, your friend, the old man, is also here at this point,
Nice.
sitting in what looks like the same rocking chair just over in the corner. Just
Very-
looking at people having a grand old time.
No
But
sign
you
of
also
Timond
see this
around?
orc woman. Sorry?
No sign of Timond around?
No sign of Timon, no. But this orc woman now seems to have changed. No more sword, no more armor. Just wearing this fairly nice, like, blue flowing dress. And looking around expectantly.
Well, I mean, something tells me, Felix, you're a bit lighter on your feet than I am.
Well, I
Perhaps
could
you could-
definitely get around, Billy.
Well, perhaps you could take a little dance and see what you can learn.
I love that I have the dancer with me.
Yeah, all right. You go, well, I don't. People don't always think my dancing is a bit different, but I'll give it a try. Are people actively going to dance right now, or is it just people trying to pair up?
Yes,
Okay.
there are people. Everybody who is paired up has made it onto the dance floor at this point in time.
Do I notice anyone who looks? Do I see any wallflowers that are looking to get out on the dance floor, but maybe a bit shy?
Yes, definitely a few. There would be like several on either side. A lot of the like. There are quite a few people standing off to the edges, including this orc woman. But basically, like they are everybody is slowly walking towards the center. Like it is like a closing
I see.
wall of a trap as they are about to start
Yeah.
finding people to dance with.
So the orc woman doesn't have a partner yet. Timon isn't here, so I think I'm gonna go up to the orc woman then. You'd see Felix as he's walking away from his good buddy Billy, pulls out a little tiny tincture from his sack of potions and just sort of takes it back like a shot to give himself a little bit of guidance. Decided my spell focus is an alchemist kit, so all my spells are potions. And he'll kind of run his hands through his floating hair, kind of trying to put it down as it all floats back up, and kind of comes up to this orcish woman. Oh, well, I noticed that you didn't have a dance partner there, my lady. Would you like to maybe start the gala off? I'm pretty light on my feet, my friend. Billy said so earlier.
I'm actually waiting for someone.
Oh, well. You know, I respectfully appreciate that you're here with a friend or a partner, whatever you wish. But
I'm sorry. That's quite rude of me. He's not here yet, and may not even show up. It would be a shame to waste a night such as this anyway. I will gladly take you on your offer.
oh, excellent! And just to absolutely just a friendly dance, just celebrating the Endurance Festival. I'm a bit new in town.
I can tell as you approached me. Most people are fairly intimidated by me. Layla Dawnstar.
Layla Dawnstar. It's beautiful, beautiful. My name's Felix. Hold a hand up because I imagine she's taller than me.
Yeah, so yeah, she reaches not incredibly tall or anything, but you can see that she's actually wearing flats. And she takes your hand and kind of leads you out onto the dance floor. And I'm just gonna cut over to the other group. So
Sure.
You to make your way down south, coming upon this tower with a small house attached to the side of it. At this point, everyone is up by the palace. This end of town now is completely deserted, and it is dark.
I will cast dancing lights to make sure that we have some lights.
Okay.
Sure. Thank goodness we didn't head up there. As I understood it, there was going to be some dancing or something. I can't abide.
Why? Whoa, what? It's fine.
Terry and I don't move very well on our feet. Not in a pretty way. You don't want to see that.
I can fix that. We're heading there after this. So, are we going to the tower or are we going to the house? Because now that I know there's dancing over there, we got to make our way over there. We got quickly.
All right. Well, what do you reckon? Like if I was going to hide a magic, the thing is I don't want to steal it and then be stuck here for another 22 hours.
Neither do I.
So maybe we just ascertain where it is, and then steal it at a later date or time.
We could also ask somebody about it, although it doesn't really look like anybody's here because everybody's at. I'm actually going to. I would try to determine whether or not there is anyone in the house. I go up and knock on the door.
Okay. You knock, there is no answer. There are no lights on inside. You don't see the flicker of flame or anything in the windows.
Mm-hmm. I press I don't have ears exactly, but I press my head up against the door, and I have blind sight to 10 feet. So it's sort of actively looking beyond the door, essentially, with my ears. So you're trying to determine if there is anybody inside and the lights are off and they don't want to answer.
Definitely not. No, nothing on the other side of the door.
Well, if I was going to hide a book, it'd probably be in the tower. Does the tower appear to have a different independent door?
It looks like there is a door on the outside, and you can also gain entrance through the house.
Yeah, right. Shall we try the door to the tower? Does the tower have any lights on?
No.
Yeah, right. I want to break as few doors as possible.
As do I. Shall we... I don't know. Do you want to try and open the door, and if it's locked, we come back later when there's somebody home?
Sure. I try
Are-
opening the door.
It is locked.
Yeah, right.
Well, this has been a success.
Well, hang on.
We're no closer to finding that book than we were 2 minutes ago.
I turn into a snake. I say,
Okay.
hold on a moment. And you see me very quickly shift form into a small snake. And I slither under the door.
Okay. Slithering inside, it is completely dark in here. You can see that there is a staircase that spirals upwards into the tower, and that same staircase spirals downwards. Normally, that staircase, it seems, would be covered by a trap door, but that trap door is currently open.
Right. I look back up at the door and attempt to unlock it from the inside.
Okay, yeah, just give me like a straight dexterity check.
Yeah,
My
snake
dex
check,
isn't
please.
bad actually. I'm just
Snake
gonna
dex.
I'm just gonna roll that.
This is the
Lake
thing where
of
the snake
hand.
winds up and then turns into a key and then goes into the keyhole.
I got an 18.
Nice.
18. Okay.
Constrictor
18
snake.
will do it fairly quickly. So you, slithering up and kind of latching your tail around the doorknob and then,
Yep.
worming
And
your
then
way
I
up
use
to
the
undo
tip of
latch.
my tail to push the door slightly back, but I'm still mostly wrapped around the lock as the door hinges backwards. And you see my head come around and
Okay. Very, very effective. I follow in with my lights behind me.
Okay. And as you step inside, behind you, you start to hear just like a pat, 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 as it starts to rain
Oh.
outside.
onto the sand.
Great. Terry rolls over and just like, oh yeah, oh it's so hot here. Oh, this is better. This is much better. And wouldn't follow us inside. Terry's gonna just be a crocodile
fine.
lying at the outside the door.
Is our watch? Can you communicate with him?
No, not currently. I'm a snake.
It's fair. All right, so I will look at the snake and be like, "What did you find?"
I slither onto your shoulder and then just sort
Oh.
of indicate my head around.
Nope. Okay. That.
You put me down. And I at you again, and I can't shrug. I don't have shoulders, but I sort of form my body into shoulders and and then slither off. And I slither to the like looking up or down basically, and try to indicate through snake mime. A question: does she want to go up or down?
I'm,
So if I
I'm
look
an
down, then I
expert.
look up, then I look over at you, and I'm like, and I
I'm
form
an
the
expert at
shoulders
miming.
again.
Yep. I got.
Reading
I
body
took-
language.
I took that class. I teach that class actually. So yeah. Well, let's think about this from a narrative point of view. If we were telling a story and we were playing this out on stage, I think the book would be upstairs. So let's start upstairs.
The snake nods, and you can follow it upstairs if you like.
I
Okay.
certainly will.
So you start to make your way upstairs, hearing the ever-increasing pitter-patter of rain outside, starting to hit these mostly open windowsills. There are no closed windows, just to allow airflow.
So we could
the
easily have gotten
stairs-
in through a window.
Well, they're small. I mean, you could have.
The snake
but-
could have.
Yeah.
I have polymorph.
And as you're making your way up these stairs, starting to get wet with rain, back at the palace, as you start to dance, and William, you're watching this, you start to hear cries from outside. And people just sort of like yelling out in surprise.
That's unusual. Felix looks like he's got himself covered. And I'd step outside to, somewhat to like, I imagine if someone's trying to like come up to me to dance, it's kind of like, nah, this is a good time to exit.
Yeah.
And just like backpedal out through the door.
So when you step outside, you feel the rain starting to hit you, and you can see down these people that are still outside and making their way up towards the palace are now yelling out in joy and surprise at the rain, and they're all sort of holding their hands and their heads up as there's kind of a rumble of thunder.
Oh, well, this is nice. Here I thought everyone was screaming because some sort of horrible event was happening, but it's just a bit of a joyous celebration of rain. I can get behind that.
And then you get a weird feeling. You feel the presence of the Banshee that you always kind of feel just there, just looking over your shoulder. But a great strength flows into it. You can see it solidifying next to you and starting to like gaze over the city and notice other people, which I think maybe is a thing that doesn't happen very often. Normally this Banshee is very focused on you, but it is starting to look around at people that are passing by, and they're now giving you a wide berth as it seems to just be drifting suddenly towards people and then pulling itself back.
Ghosty, if you don't make yourself scarce, we're going to get ourselves a lot of attention here we don't want.
And it starts to like reach towards someone.
Hey. No, you don't go attacking anybody else unless I'm telling you to do it. You know the deal we've got. Well, I think you do. It's very hard to make out what you're saying most of the time.
And as you step towards it, it starts to shriek. And as that shriek echoes out, Felix, inside, you hear it, and it just rattles through the people. The music stops. Everybody freezes. Even in the distance, I think, Ruby and Erwin, you hear it echoing from this distant place. And it silences people. They all start to whisper and panic a little bit.
William is standing there with his hands like on his hips, arms akimbo, just like looking down at it disappointedly, like, well, congratulations, you've caused another scene and ruined a beautiful evening. Do you want me to add that to the record book? You're really keeping up quite a tally at this point.
And then it just gets slammed into the ground. And it contacts, doesn't go through, and is
The Canadians froze.
Yeah. Yeah.
no.
Oh, the Canadians are back. The Canadians are
Yeah,
back.
they got it.
So I was like, the fuck is it me?
At the same time?
Yeah.
You both froze.
Yeah, you
Oh,
did.
Elliot,
The same
it-
time.
sorry.
I was like, shit, is it
Canada-wide
me?
internet
Oh no.
problems. So.
Yeah, I thought it was me.
But then I noticed Shannon moving. I was like, oh, thank God, it's not me.
Yeah, I was looking to
Yeah.
you two also.
Yeah.
What's the last thing you heard?
It's
You
slammed
slammed
into
And
the
it
made
into
contact.
the ground.
Okay. And then the ground starts to rumble under all of you. And now those cries of surprise and excitement are turning to screams.
I
That's
pick up the
unusual.
snake and run back out the door. We'll look for
So-
this later. Come on.
Don't get yourself killed. Again, or do, honestly, it'd be a weight off of my shoulders. I gotta find Felix. Felix! As I go rushing back inside.
As we dash out the door, there's like like Ruby emerges, and about six feet later, my head emerges, and I hiss at Terry, and Terry sort of lumbers along behind.
Yeah. And now people are starting to just step out of the palace. So Felix, I think you're kind of like pushed in this sea of people
Yeah.
as they step out. And from the top of these stairs, looking over the city, you can see everybody is standing around, and it's so crowded. And like a wave, this panic starts to move over them as you start to see shapes like writhing around amongst them, as you see a big chunk of people sink into the ground as the ground itself starts to cave in. Ruby and Erwin, as you're running, the ground under you starts to get unstable. You both need to make dex saves.
Oh no!
I am being carried.
Billy! Oh, Billy! Where are you, Billy? And so run after William.
I'm being carried. I don't know if that matters.
Yeah, I would like to cast enhanceability on myself, and give myself cat's grace, so I can get advantage on dexterity checks.
Okay.
Oh wait, that's a check, not a. Ah, crap. It's a check, so that means not a saving throw, right?
Yeah.
Or does
Right,
it apply
yeah.
to saving throw? Well, that's a wasted spell slot. That's why I don't magic. It's fine. It's fine.
DM, from kind of the top of the stairs of the, is there from the palace? Is there a fairly good, like, view of like the sprawling city beyond kind of this main area?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Is it cracking as if this whole city is about to start floating in the sky?
No, it's not.
Okay.
That's like a good instinct and looking around, but it doesn't look like the ground is starting to lift up. There are pieces that are falling out under people, like little sinkholes.
Oh no.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for all the dice to clear for my dex check. Oh,
That looks
boy.
like a 7.
That's a 7.
Yeah.
Yikes!
So
Drop a snake.
Terry got 15.
Okay.
Terry has
So-
proficiency with dex saves, apparently.
So Terry,
I do
okay. Terry stops in time, but Ruby, carrying the snake, falls into this hole. So you fall down into this dark area. Now the rain raining down on top of you and now dripping off of these broken cobblestones. And you hear movement, all this shuffling. And as your dancing lights catch up with you, they light up just a swarm of zombies,
Great.
which have all seemed to come to life and are just swarming through the bottom of the city.
When we say swarm, numerically, what are we talking about here?
You cannot count them at this point in time.
Too
They
many
are,
zombies.
Too many zombies. There are quite a few of them.
Right.
Oh no.
They are just all the way down the hallway on either side of you, and now that you are down here, they are starting to close in on you.
I cast hypnotic pattern.
I've got this.
You're a snake.
I can become not a snake at will, which I do. I
Seems
cease,
like a good
Alright, go
time to
for
not
it.
be a snake
I
anymore.
cease being a
Go for
snake.
it.
I mean, if I took any falling damage, I probably would have turned back into Erwin anyway. Because he had that snake has like 3 hit points. I cast Erupting Earth. But I do it partially like obviously I'm aiming to get a lot of the zombies in the area of effect, but I'm also trying to collapse the tunnel that they're
Okay.
coming down.
Right.
It's 3d12 bludgeoning damage on a failed dex save, or half as much on a successful one.
Okay. And what's the area?
It is a 20-foot cube centered on a point within range, which is 120 feet. I don't know if I can close both corridors with it, but I certainly try and close at least one of them.
Yes, you could definitely close one of them.
Okay, I do that.
Yeah.
I pick the one that appears to have more zombies, and I do 1, 2, 3 D12. That's quite a lot. 19.
Okay.
The dex save they require is my spell save DC, which is quite high. 18 they need.
So what I'm going to say instead of rolling like 20 dex saves is that like by collapsing the tunnel with the combination of this spell's damage in itself and just crushing them, that one side is just completely out. So now you have your backs to a wall and there are zombies right in front of you. And I'm just going to get everyone to roll initiative.
Nah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Now then. Where is initiative on this?
Just roll a d20.
Okay. that's not mine. It's like, oh, 18. Oh, fuck. Plus my dex, 13.
13. Okay.
21.
Nice.
Plus my 11 for me.
Six.
I look up and it's like, Terry, get down here, you useless reptile.
So, Ruby, you are up first.
Oh no. Okay.
So, threatening you right now, there are 5 zombies in the front row. The other ones won't be able to reach you because they're in the front, but they are shambling towards you.
Okay. I didn't take any damage spells.
That's
All right.
the only one I know.
Yeah. I am going to cast polymorph on myself, and I'm going to turn into a giant eagle.
Okay.
And I would like to grab Erwin, and I would like to out of the hole.
Okay, great. So these will get attacks of opportunity on you.
That's fair. Oh dear, I don't have a. Oh boy, my armor class is not great.
Let's see how they do.
Gotta look up those eagle stats.
Crit.
That's what I'm doing right now. Oh
One of them
no.
crit.
Oh
wait,
no.
not
There was an
showing
8 and a 2 in there.
Yeah, so 2 missed, 1 got an 18, 1 got a crit. And then I
Are sure
didn't
they
see the
missed?
other
I got a 12. I have a 12 AC.
They definitely did because they have very
They have
little
negative.
to hit.
All right.
So
Cool.
three
They are
missed,
zombies.
2 hit, 1's a crit,
Okay.
One's a crit fail.
and 1's a crit fail. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Very even.
So are they the ones that do damage? Are they going to do damage to my human form or to my eagle form? What goes
To
first?
your eagle form.
All right. Cool.
And kind of a low roll. 9. You take 18 points of damage.
Okay. All right. I'm still an eagle.
The eagle good? Yes.
Okay.
Eagle's good. Eagle's good.
That's what matters.
But with that, you are able to fly out as they claw at you, just pulling out feathers as you move your way up. And as you fly out, they start to climb their way up. As you are flying now, the way that this combat is going to work is that there are several problems. They are more scenes. They don't have to be solved with killing things. You can solve them in several ways. Flying up in the air, and Felix, from your point of view on top of the stairs, you can see the immediate problems that are happening. Under the festival grounds, there is a massive sinkhole that is opening up, and people are starting to slide down into the writhing arms of the undead below. From the west, you hear screaming as you look and see that there is this weird, massive-looking golem that seems to be made of a bunch of bones and remains of elephants that is crawling its way out of the gardens and chasing a bunch of people towards the palace. And under you, Ruby, there is a house just across from Bell's Botany that explodes, and there is a fire raging inside of it. It is starting to tilt and fall, and you can see that there are people inside. They're out on a balcony on the side, and it looks like the building is about to topple over.
All right. Do I still have movement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would have only been 10
I
feet
point at the
up.
building.
Yeah. And I fly over there, and I don't know if I can get over there with the rest of my movement.
Dragging Erwin, you wouldn't be able to.
All right.
I would have shouted, "Drop me off!" If you're gonna do it, it's like, grab the. I shout up at you. Grab the people. Drop me off.
Okay.
I'll go to catch him.
Okay, so
Alright,
you can
sounds good.
drop Irwin, and then you get pretty close, like close enough that these people are now looking and seeing you.
Okay, cool.
And that makes it Irwin's turn.
Mm-hmm. So, Mold Earth. I don't know if that'll help very much. How high up are they?
About 30 feet.
So, you saw him right across the road from Bell's Botany.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any plant life there? Doesn't need to be blooms. I'm looking for vines and stuff like that.
Yes, so there are some non-flowering plants that
Right.
have been left behind that didn't get bought.
I dash over to that, and using Druidcraft, I'm going to try and weave a net. Trying to grow a net out of these things to catch people as they jump off.
Okay, so yeah, I'll say you can use your action to create like a vine net. That's great, yeah. So you create a vine net as
And
the
I
giant
sort of
beetle.
lash it between Terry and myself, and we pull it taut so we can catch him.
Yeah, I'll say you can do that as
That's
your next
fine.
action. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And that would make it this massive creature that is making its way towards the palace. You actually see it spews out this acidic, sticky bile, which starts to cover the people that are running away from it as they start to slow down and are stuck in it. And Felix, it's your turn.
Okay. So I think first things first, I would rush down to William just to get with him and let, if he can't see what he can't see, explain that there's the sinkhole. People are sliding into the sinkhole, and there's hordes of zombies. They're killing them all. We got this big golem buddy over here to the west, and then we got old fire over there where Ruby and Irwin were. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is down where the people are, with the sinkhole, where they're sliding into the zombies. Actually, no, never mind. Take that back. I'm gonna look at the. Can I get within 30 feet of the big golem? Or is it too far
Yeah,
away?
so the way I'm kind of doing it is you can move from one section to another with your movement.
Okay, cool.
If you like, yeah.
Cool. Then I'd like to move over to where the golem is, and I will cast. Or let's see, is this a saving throw? Yeah, the golem needs to make a Constitution saving throw, 17 to beat. As I'm going to cast enlarge, reduce, and reduce the golem.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Let's see what its con is. That is a 15.
All right. So what Felix does is he's searching in his little fanny pack, essentially, of potions. Takes one out and he shakes it up to fizz it up like a soda, and cracks it open, and you can see a bunch of fizz coming out of it. And he would huck it at this golem, and its size is halved in all dimensions. The weight is reduced 1/8, one category smaller for mechanics. And until the spell ends, the target has disadvantage in strength checks and strength saving throws. The target's weapons also shrink, which are its fists, I'm sure. It's elephant fists. And the target's attacks deal 1d4 less damage. So yeah, that's
Okay.
what I'll do with my action.
Nice.
And that's actually all I can do. So
Okay.
that's my turn.
But as you do that, yeah, it is rearing up, about to catch the people in the back in its mouth, and as it like lowers its body down to land on top of them, it just shrinks and its face lands short. With that, you see out of the sinkhole, zombies are starting to crawl up among the people who are just scattering and pushing each other, trying to get away. Irwin and Ruby, you can see that hole that opened up behind you. They are starting to crawl out of that from the one tunnel that was not collapsed. And William, it's your turn.
Can I make my way to the, I guess, the hole in the festival grounds entrance that people are falling into?
Mhm.
And I just want to go over there, basically run over there, start levitating, and trying to go down and grab people.
Okay,
And like
yeah.
pull them out. I don't know if it's possible. I have like the Eldritch Blast cantrip that if I hit people with an Eldritch Blast, it brings them 10 feet closer to me.
Cool.
And so I don't know if I can non-lethally hit people to kind of like have the ghost try to grab them up if they're too far, sort of thing.
Yeah. So what I'll say is you can do a strength. So there's like 3 people that are sliding down right now.
Oh, okay.
So you can try to like grab one of them and Eldritch Blast one of them if you'd like.
Yeah, let's do that. See if I can get one pop back up. Blast 17.
That would do it. Yeah.
And let's see how much ghost damage I do.
Hey.
Only 1.
Yeah.
And non-lethal.
So that's great. I think it's mostly they are terrified because it's the Banshee doing it. Is that?
It's the the Banshee literally like rushing forward and grabbing them, and it's like it's sucking out their soul, and then their body kind of like comes forward in like slurps back into the soul.
It's
Great.
terrifying.
Yeah, it's awful. It's not pleasant for anybody. William's like, I'm sorry, I'm trying to help.
Yeah.
She's very
They're like
nice,
sliding
really.
down, and they're like, no, and then they see the ghost coming. They're like, no. And you can make a strength check just to try to hold on to this other person with your meat body.
Oh boy, this is not gonna go well. Just a regular strength check.
Hey.
A 15.
That'll do it.
All right.
Yeah, they are trying as hard as they can to not
Heck,
fall in
why
this
not?
hole, so it's not a huge DC. You're just able to hold on to them. And so you have 2 of these 3 people. The other person is still sliding down, but there are others at the edges now throwing ropes down, trying to make sure that nobody falls into this hole.
Cool.
With that, we go back to the top of the order. In the sinkhole at the top of this round, a cart that was teetering on the edge breaks off, and a bunch of these people that were trying to help are now getting carried down. So there is a cart with 5 people holding onto it that is now rolling down into the pit. The golem creature moves forward and starts to try to scoop people up in its mouth. It swoops across them, but because it's so much smaller, it's only able to grab 1, but it does have 1 person that it looks like it is trying to swallow. And the people are getting pushed closer and closer to the edge of this balcony, and the building itself shifts to the side. So it looks like not only are these people in danger while they're in there, but if they come to the ground as well, it looks like this building is about to come down on the bunch of you. And Ruby, we're back to you.
All right. How many people are on that balcony?
There's 5 of them.
All right. I will fly close to the balcony and just kind of just like stay there and hope they get the hint to get on.
Okay.
I don't know I don't know if I can take all of them at the same time. If I had 2 in my claws, I theoretically maybe 2 in my claws, 1 in my mouth, and 2 in my back.
So yeah, I think it would be
I would just drop.
Yeah, you would probably drop, but make a strength check and we'll see how many you can get on.
All right, cool. So that is gonna be a +3 with my eagle stats. D20. Okay. 7.
7. Okay. So you can take, like, what I'll say is that you can basically take as many as you want, but
Yep.
the more that you take, the more it's going to cost you. Probably in health and maybe some of their health. You'd be risking some of them depending on how many you took.
Okay.
You can, with your eagle eyes, see what I'm doing.
Yeah. Can I, like, with my eagle eyes, see which of these 5 people look the hardiest, grab them and chuck them into the net, so that I can take other take the other 3.
Great. Yeah, make a ranged people attack.
What do I roll?
So just, I think this is. So what I'll say, maybe we can build this into like your swoop to try to get you like a dex check or something, just to make it a little different.
Cool. All right, so come on, baby. 14.
14. Okay. So there's like this large guy who is actually like ushering everyone else onto you, and it seems like he's going to stay behind himself. And then you start to fall. Like you cannot hold these people up. You barely have control. And so just at the last minute, kicking him out with your feet, he does like land in the net, and I think you are going to come toppling to the ground.
Yep.
And you can shelter. Well, yeah, I'll say you can choose if you want to protect people and take more damage, or spread the damage among you all.
I'll protect more people and take more damage.
Just become a person again.
So you take 23 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah, I'm not an eagle no more.
But you can sort of describe like how do you like protect them as you fall.
Yeah, so as I feel myself falling and know that this isn't gonna go well, I will just like I'll do a barrel roll so that the people on top of me fall off towards the net, and then I'll kind of just like have my wings spread so that if there's like any like debris or anything that's falling, my wings will protect it. And then immediately shrink into a person, and that doesn't do anything.
But yeah, this like burning rubble starting to fall down on all sides of you, and these people are okay. You did shelter them, so the one who landed in the net looks a little beat up, but very grateful, like very happy.
Good.
And Erwin. Oh, sorry.
I have a question. So, I only had 8 points left as an eagle. Do I apply the remaining damage to my person?
Yeah.
Yes,
cool.
You do.
Cool.
So, Erwin, the people are down, but the building is going to fall on you.
I look at the bloke in the net and say, "Oh, nothing but net," and drag basically the net. Terry and I sort of pull the net away out of the blast zone of the building falling.
Okay.
Sort of pulling this guy, or pulling, Ruby said she threw a couple of people into the net, so I'm just like trying to gather them all up in my net and pull them out of the range of this falling building.
Okay, yeah, then go for strength or athletics for that.
Oh, I am good at both of those. I'm not. Actually, I'm proficient in athletics. Hey, 19.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll say
with
you're
my
able to pull
-1 strength.
3 of the 5. So Ruby, you and 2 others are still in the danger zone, but everybody else has been pulled away on this net as you both back up.
Come on, Annette.
Okay, so that would be Felix. So this elephant golem has this person in its mouth, and it is trying to swallow them in front of you.
Oh dear. Okay. What can I do? How high up is how tall is the golem now, since it's been shrunk?
It gets shrunk in half. Is that?
Yeah, it says half its size. For the actual like mechanics, it says it just goes down one size. So,
okay,
like,
well, I'll say
to...
it was about like 40 feet tall, so it would be about 20 now.
Okay, all right. And the person's in its mouth. Okay. Well, I'll use my other artificer infusion item. winged boots, and I want to fly up a little bit, and I want to cast on that person. Wait, can I cast it on another person? I should be able to. Yes, I can. The golem's gonna shoot back up to its normal size because I'll lose concentration on it because I need to concentrate on this. But I'm gonna cast gaseous form on that person to make them incorporeal so they can get out of its mouth and get away.
Cool. Yeah, I think that just works.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I feed them up. I try to get them. I just throw a huck of potion at them, and they turn to a bloom of smoke, of incense, and then mistily can get away out of the mouth as incorporeal.
Cool. So very slowly they start to drift towards you as this creature grows up to its full size. Its head turning, and these like 3 elephant heads that are together, all looking down at you with just these like empty socket half skeletal heads.
Okay, I'm a pacifist. Don't come at me.
Perfect. And then
That's
it is going to come at you.
Oh,
So having lost its prey, it is going to come at you with that head, and those trunks are going to reach out and try to grapple you.
oh boy. Okay.
Not ideal. Oh.
That is a 27 to hit.
That will hit.
So you're going to take 11 points of damage.
Oops.
And you are grappled as you are constricted and picked up, and this creature now starts to try to swallow you. With that, now the zombies, now that you've like escaped the building, Erwin, these zombies are starting to crawl up. They are lumbering towards you slowly. Next turn, they will be upon you.
Right.
And William, it's your turn. You're watching as this cart careens down into the center of this sinkhole with 5 people holding onto it.
Oh my god. Boy, I am not the best thing for dealing with that. Is the cart like, am I between the sinkhole and the cart?
You're levitating, so you could be.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna do that, and I'm going to kind of get, with the cart coming towards me, William is going to say, "On a quiet street where old ghosts meet, I see her walking now, away from me so hurriedly my reason must allow," and cast Anti-Life Shell, which a shimmering barrier extends out for me in a 10-foot radius, and hedges out any creatures other than undead and constructs. So I'm going to assume that this cart is going to probably come careening into me, but in theory, the people should bounce off the barrier and go back in the other direction.
I love it.
Nice.
So make a dex save with disadvantage to dodge the
Okay.
cart.
Deal. It's a 10.
That's a 10. So you're
bad.
going to get hit by a cart.
Yeah.
And
that
off the
sounds
top
about
of my
right.
head of endless DM knowledge, a cart does what? 40 feet of falling damage.
That's
Sounds
about
good.
right.
That's not too
11.
bad.
So that's pretty good.
11?
You get
Okay.
Yeah. So this cart, yeah, just a glancing blow off you. Do you need to make a concentration check on the anti-life shell?
I will need to make a concentration check on it. You son of a
Ooh.
gun.
I have to get
Um,
gaseous form.
Saving throw. Oof, I'm good.
Okay.
Scared me though.
So what does the anti-life shell look like?
So it is like a kind of a pulse of green energy coming out with the banshee emanating at the center of it, and you can kind of see other spirits just kind of flitting around the edges of it, as it's clear that there is some sort of connection that the banshee has with the kind of greater undead realm through it as well.
Cool. And these.
And I
people
think,
are
yeah,
just
I guess if
splatted.
it's all the people, it's probably like literally ghosts kind of like just rushing up and grabbing the people and like pushing them back from going forward.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, so they, again, are like, no, 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 and then are terrified even more as they're now being, like, held up and accosted by ghosts. But they are secure. So then, back to the top of the round, there is a crash of stone from the center of the city. The large fountain that sits in the middle of the community center explodes, and this gaseous form starts to rise up from the center, and you see this completely emaciated form wearing this tattered blue robe rise up out of the center, gaunt face, eyeless sockets with just raw magic energy swirling around it. You've seen it in your textbooks. You've heard the horror stories. This is undead magic incarnate, a lich swirling up from the center of the city, and in its hand, it is holding a book closed and screaming and looking over the town as magic crackles from its fingertips.
A book, you say?
A book.
Just a book.
Not
A
the
book,
book.
some book.
A book?
The journal.
Spot run.
Look, most liches have books.
And Ruby.
Are the is the building still falling? Are we
It
still
is, yeah.
It is? Okay. All right. You tell me if this is going to work, but I want to cast pyrotechnics, and I can choose an area of non-magical flame that I can see and fits within a 5-foot cube within range. I can extinguish the fire in that area, and then as I do that, I can create fireworks when I do that. Would I be able to use the fireworks to kind of explode the bigger pieces into smaller pieces?
To blow up. Okay.
To scatter the rubble more?
It's a full building, so I totally, definitely better than a full building. So I will say you are going to make a deck save, but with this, it's just going to blow some of the bigger pieces apart, so you can make the deck save with advantage.
Cool. The other part is that each creature within 10 feet of the target must succeed on a con save or become blinded until the end of my next turn. So I imagine I would have said, "Close your eyes," to Erwin and the people, in the hopes that the zombies are the ones that are going to get blinded by it.
Great.
Okay.
All right, so advantage. Here we go. Waiting for the dice to clear.
I've rolled a few.
Yeah, still going. Where is my? There they are. All right, there they go. All right, so 19 for my deck save.
Okay.
Yep.
So you, just yell, "Close your eyes." You're grabbing these people, and the fireworks, I think, like split up the center of this huge chunk of building that's coming towards you, and it just parts.
Very cool.
So you are left, like, I guess, maybe sheltering or...
Yeah, just like, gotta write that one down for special effects in the future. Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Perfect. Then, where did I write that? Yeah, there we go. So we are on to Erwin.
Owen, who's standing there with his eyes closed, hears the explosion behind him, figures that's probably what she was on about, opens his eyes, and there is presumably a wave of zombies crawling out of the ground towards him. Are they
Yes.
there, or are they there, or are they?
They're about to get to you. So like
Okay.
you're not engaged with them right now, but they will move and be engaged
Right.
with you.
He would firstly say to the people who are probably still a little bit entangled in his net, you probably want to get to safety, and he is going to utilize the same spell again, that erupting earth, to try and make the ground fall out from underneath these zombies and drop them back in the hole.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. So they. And I think just because there are catacombs here, and you sort of know that they are there, you can collapse those zombies that are right in front of you, down. So you can
A
roll
20-foot
damage.
cube worth of that, and 3d12 again. 12, 12, and 5.
Ooh. Well, it doesn't even matter. If they save.
29.
They are crushed in the rubble, just their like twitching arms sticking up from under. As that happens, though, like this now almost this ramp has been made, so more of the ones that are down below, the ones, because I think maybe you've collapsed the tunnel on the other side a little farther down, so it's just the ones that were immediately in the sinkhole now that are left, and they start to climb out.
Yeah. That would be I sort of, if I have a bonus, or no, what Terry will do is Terry will shake themselves free of the net, thereby freeing everybody else from within the, basically the vines just become just vines.
Okay.
Terry being the latch point. And Terry technically actually goes after I do. They are a Drake companion, so they have the same initiative as me.
Okay.
But no particular need to make any particular actions right now. They are. Terry comes up and stands next to Erwin, ready to chomp on the first zombie that takes a swipe at him.
Okay, so
If
then
that's
we're
necessary.
at Felix.
Okay, so now that so the situation where I am, the people have for the most part gotten away, and it's just this mammoth golem it's focusing on me.
Yes.
Okay, and I am grappled. All right, then I am going to, now that that other person is safely away, I will cast. I'll use gaseous form on myself to escape the exact same way from its mouth.
Okay.
So I'll down a potion and immediately just burst into smoke. Just a slight echoing voice of Felix as he floats down away from the monster. But that's pretty much all I can do at this point. Can I see how William's doing over nearby?
Yeah, I think you'd be able to see.
Just ghosts. Just a pile of.
Yeah, I think you just saw William get hit by a cart and probably pushed into this pit of zombies.
That's right. That's right. All right, then I'll start moving very slowly over to William because the gaseous form only moves 10 feet per turn.
Okay. And as you are floating across the ground, just these big elephant feet smashing on you and around you, but unable to, like the mouth comes down and closes, all of these tusks that are twisted together into this weird maw, trying to bite you but can't.
I don't like being inside a golem.
And William.
So yeah, my levitate ends as the anti-life shell goes up. So yeah, I imagine it's quite literally I've like bounced the people backwards and taken this cart down into the pit of zombies.
Yeah, so you are now being, I guess, grasped and pulled underground.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, I didn't think they'd be quite that on top of me. I am going to cast invisibility on myself and see if I can. I guess if I'm being like grappled, I would try to like break the grapple first, but otherwise then I'm gonna try to go invisible, just like
They
as the
technically
ghost.
go after you, so you're not grappled yet.
Oh, okay. Then yeah. I would the banshee would just kind of come down into William and just like smash into him, disappearing as he kind of like poofs out with that same spirit energy as she dissipates and he dissipates at the same time.
Okay. So then, and yeah, with that, I think those like hands reaching up, they are just kind of like blindly swinging because they
Yeah,
can't
I think
really
I'm
see.
like backpedaling as much as I can.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna roll a couple with disadvantage. So that's this.
Yeah.
AC is
That is a miss.
15.
Okay, so you're okay. As yeah, these hands are like swinging up at you. You can see them like digging into the rock and like trying to grab at you, but they can't see you and cannot get you.
Oh, it's the undead. Why is it always the undead? It's the one thing I'm not any good about.
You continue to hear that screaming. Now that you've sort of moved these people away from these difficulties, all of them herding back towards the palace, starting to rush their way back up the stairs inside. And you just hear, "No, I forget. I'm forgetting again." And then this is the Lich speaking, and then pries open the book, and from it, this blue energy just extends in an orb straight from the center of town, washing over the bunch of you, and you feel your spirit and your soul kicked out of your body, and you die.
Is it TPK? TPK emotes in the chat, please. TPK emotes in the chat.
It's regrettable,
And-
but there we go. It was supposed to be a two-parter, Mike, you know. Didn't
It
have to do
was.
it this early.
We play new characters next week.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I'm going to reincarnate as
So-
Terry.
You feel yourselves die, and then you feel yourselves falling again,
Ah,
and you hear music. And looking around, you see the familiar circle surrounding this half-elf man and this orc woman who are dancing. She wears this blue flower in her hair. And then you feel the hot air around you as you fall again and crumple into a heap on the ground.
Knew it.
And over the top of you, a man with black hair pokes his head down and says, "Well, that's not something you see every day."
agreed.
And we're going to call it there for tonight. Thank you very much, everybody.
Ah,
Thank you,
Amazing.
players. That was a lot of fun. I hope you had a good time.
Ooh.
yeah, that was
So-
good.
So we're just going to go around and we'll just say a quick goodbye. Do we have time? I don't know if we have time to do favorite moments. Probably
Oh,
not, eh?
look, there's always time to do a quick one. Just one each,
Okay,
maybe?
we'll go around. We'll go real fast. Just start with Josh, as he says there's always time.
Fuck, now I've got to think of one. I actually, dead set, and you die. I was like, yeah, great. Yeah, that was really fun. I really enjoyed them. I was like, there's a fucking plot twist. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I was like, hey, where's he gonna go with this? That was really cool. I really enjoyed just that line. The way you said it was lovely. Yeah, good job, Mike. That was fun.
Shannon.
I really enjoyed the fact that combat wasn't just straight fighting. It was more of a skill challenge, and you had to think about what you were going to do. And I especially for somebody who didn't pick damage spells, I really enjoyed the opportunity to be creative with the spells that I had. So that was awesome.
Yeah.
Kieran.
I loved during the opening of getting to know everybody and Shannon making up a bunch of NPCs on the way in, and then Felix coming through and being like, no, it's okay, and then this little scene happening with this girl trying to practice the dances and stuff. I just love that like 3-tier built up really, really fast and was very funny.
Yeah.
And Sean.
I was a big fan of William altogether. I was a creative writing major in my undergraduate, and I could just see so many of my classmates and professors in William, especially when he entered combat with a poem before casting his spells. I was like, yes, this man has an MFA for sure.
Yeah, I've got to say my favorite moment as well was the poem for casting. That was absolutely beautiful. But I loved what all of you brought to the table tonight. I love how quickly you just meshed into your roles and got to know each other. I love seeing it. So thank you, everybody. If you've got favorite moments, throw them in the chat as we're going to say our quick goodbyes. Everybody's just going to say who you are, where you're from, where we can find you, and let's go start with Sean.
Hey everybody, my name is Sean. You can find me on all social media at Odo_Sean. That's Sean spelled S-E-A-N. I am from Paradise RPG, where I DM our flagship show over there. So come check us out on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The next episode should be a lot of fun. We're jumping right into the heart of combat. And yeah, Paradise spelled P-A-R-A-D-I-C-E, because we like puns over in Paradise. Great game. Super fun. Can't wait for part 2.
All right, and Kieran.
My name is Kieran, also known as AgentNumberOne. You can find me over at my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AgentNumberOne, where I stream on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, playing all sorts of different strategy and variety games and the like. You can also find me over at the Wonders and Blunders podcast, which is prepping up for its 2nd season, and we are about to hit episode 100 in like a week, 2 weeks. I think it's crazy. Time has absolutely flown by. Those are the best places to find me. Thank you all for hanging out. Thanks for watching.
And Shannon.
Hi everybody, I'm Shannon. I'm also from Paradise RPG. I am our community manager as well as a cast member on our Monday night show. I am also one half of the Sean and Shannon Power Hour on Sunday nights at 7, where we recap the previous week's episode. And we have Relaxing in Paradise on Thursdays, where this one paints minis and talks lore and sometimes plays video games. It's a lot of fun. We would love to have you in Paradise. You can find me at sroby25 on all social media. And this was a great game, guys. I love getting to know all of your new characters. And Mike, you were wonderful. So much fun. I love being at your table.
Yeah.
Thank you. And lastly, Josh.
Hi everyone, I'm Josh the Pirate. I've been Owen this evening / this morning. If you've enjoyed my face and voice, you can find me in Paparotica at Fringe World in Perth, WA, and generally infesting the arts scene there. Alternatively, if you like the majestic voice but you think I could stand to tone the face down a bit, I am also part of the There Be Dragons crew. We are a 5e D&D podcast in a gunpowder fantasy setting where I play the infamous and deadly pirate Skin Felspar and his little dragon Hrosh. I have a thing for rangers. And yeah, Mike, it was a genuine pleasure, mate. That was fun.
Thank you all. That was so much fun. My name's Mike Friday. I am the DM over at Wonders and Blunders. You can find us there. This was a great time. I hope to see you again next week for the finale of this little arc. But for now, we are going to go raid the role players who are playing their D&D homebrew campaign. So we are going to throw it over to a raid for them. Thank you, everybody. Go check out Sirenscape. Go check out Hero Forge. And see you next week. Goodbye.